In this box is a brand new Coach bag, newly released for spring 2025, that I hadn't planned on getting, but I could not get it out of my head. And I will say up front, I do have some concerns about it, but I wasn't able to go see it in person because nobody around me had it in person, so I had to order it to be able to see. Some of you warned me about something having to do with this bag too. So we're gonna open this up, look at all the details, talk about your warning, and a couple other concerns I have. And we'll see if this one works for me and if it might work for you. And it's one that I haven't been seeing videos on. I think I saw one video on it and it was a different size than this one. So let's get started. Welcome, I'm Autumn Beckman and I'm here to help you live your most luxurious life within your budget. I post new videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so please be sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of those, and so you don't miss my daily community posts where I share the best sales of the day and fabulous handbags that I find. Also, don't miss my website, autumnbeckman.com. The shop page is where I have handbags and accessories available for sale, as well as the My Handbag Collection Organizer, which are planner pages that I've designed to help you curate and organize your handbags and your life. The item tracker page is where you can track all the information about your handbags and small goods. I also have wish list trackers, purchase trackers, pages specifically designed to keep track of the contact information for your sales associates, calendar pages in a variety of formats so you can pick what works best for you, project planning pages, habit trackers, and so much more. Now let's see what I picked up and how it's packaged, because I ordered this one from Amazon because at the time I got this size was only available there. I'm already wondering about the size. All right, let's take a peek at how they've packaged it. It looks like it's completely factory wrapped from Coach. In fact, if we turn it around, there's the Coach logo. So let me get this unwrapped a bit so I can show it to you. All right, what we have is the Coach cargo tote. Slip that off. In straw, and this is the largest size, so I'll take some measurements and give you dimensions on that in just a minute. First glance, there are things I love about it. Still some concerns. With this bag, this is probably about as much unwrapping as I'll do until I'm sure about it, because I'm really not sure. But let's take a look a little closer and do all the usual things. First of all, measurements. It is 13 inches across the bottom, which measures out to 33 centimeters. It's 9.5 to 10 inches tall, depending on where you measure it. And the depth is 6 inches at the base and 5 inches at the top, so it does taper in a little bit at the top. Let's do a spin of the bag first. So there is the front. You see Coach is woven in here. Bring that closer. So there's the weave of the straw, and then Coach is woven in there too in straw. And in the pictures online, it looked super thick, and I was worried that it wouldn't look very good in person, but that does actually look nice. You see there's a little turn lock here with a piece of black leather around it. You have the black hang tag. And of course, that turn lock is because there is a pocket on the front. We'll look at that in a minute. Here is the side up close, and the back we have another pocket. This one has a snap instead of a turn lock. And the other side, the bottom, no feet. And then on the top we have a zipper with the flaps, so you can fold that over and protect your things a little more, but it is open on the ends there. We'll just undo the tape so that I can release the top handles a little bit, so we're able to get inside the bag and see that. That crossbody strap that's wrapped up in here is attached to the bag, so I'm just gonna put it into the back pocket for now. So here we have it without all the plastics. You can see what that looks like. And I'm going to bring it closer again. We need to see the top a little bit better. So there you go. And then we have the zipper, which if it's all the way zipped over, it's a little bit hard to get started. Kind of pulls on the bag a little bit, you see. You may need two hands sometimes to start that zipper. And before we go inside, I do want to point something out. When I was holding the bag like this to show you the strap, so I was just holding it by this one handle, and I'm not convinced that that feels super sturdy. I feel like I wouldn't necessarily trust that to hold the bag when there's weight in it. Also, when I undid the snap back here, it pulls on the straw. I don't know why they would have put a snap on this bag, but that didn't feel great either. I felt like that could break over time. Also, if you're carrying the bag top handle like this, it looks nice, but if you are carrying it with the shoulder or crossbody strap, which I'll show you in a minute, those handles don't have much structure. So you could fold them over the top like that, which looks nice, but if they're out, they're just gonna hang out like that. I have just taken the stuffing out of this. I can go ahead and tell you now this is going back. But let me finish this review and keep watching it if you're interested in one of these bags, because you'll want to know why I'm sending it back. So first of all, you saw how structured it looked when it had the stuffing in it. Well, now with nothing in it, it is totally smushy, which is to be expected. It's a very soft material, doesn't have a lot of structure of its own. But, and this is something I knew from the photos on Coach's website before I bought it, when you have it up against your body or you're just carrying it around with stuff in it, the sides are going to come out, so you're going to get that kind of look instead of just a more rectangular look. Inside of the bag, there's not much going on. It is just one big open compartment. There are no pockets at all. You do have the story patch, and you have those 2 pockets on the outside of the bag. By the way, let me undo this little turn lock and show you the inside of that pocket. So it looks like that, and you have the other side of that black weaving from the Coach logo showing there. I don't mind that, and I actually love that this bag is not lined because I love the texture so much. It's so pretty. But you could have some things like keys, for example, get caught in that. That could be a problem. So you may want to carry your things in a pouch if you were to get this bag. And here's the pocket on the back of the bag as well. And back to the front pocket, that's something I just noticed, is I talked about how these straps, when you hold it by one of them, didn't feel very sturdy, but they are sewn all the way down to the bottom of the bag. So that does give you some added structure and sturdiness. I knew this bag would be slouchy, and I love that about it, but there's some things about the material that allow for the slouchiness, but other things that I'm not in love with. For example, see these top corners, how they're already turning in and the bag is brand new. Not a big fan of that. I would like that part at least to keep its shape. Also, you guys told me, and it says this on the Coach website, this material is called paper straw. You guys told me that that means it's actually paper and that you can't get it wet. I had several people tell me about that. That's not cool. And also, I've never worked with this material or done any weaving, so I don't know how difficult it is to get this really straight and even. But let me show you something. I have this Coach Bleecker straw bag, and I have this Longchamp bag, which looks like straw, but it's not. I forget what the material is. It's not raffia either, something else, but I'll bring these closer. And you can see how pretty immaculate the weaving is on these bags. There's nothing really out of place. Now, I will say this is different material, and this is a tighter weave. But still, that's the kind of quality I'm expecting, and it's not the kind of quality that I'm seeing in this bag for $300. A lot of these weaves are out of place and maybe not as tight as they could be, and maybe that's just the material. But maybe it's also a little less care taken in the making of the bags. I've also seen photos where, and you can see it some here, these lines, which are done really well for the most part, some of the edges are really crooked, and you can see that on the sides here too, how it's just not as straight as I would like it to be for a $300 bag. Let's take a quick peek at just the end of the strap so you can see what that looks like. So here you go. It's one of those webbed straps, so black with a little off-white stripes. It has this leather bit on the end and a snap hook. The snap hooks, I wish they'd put them on the ends of the bags where they belong, but they didn't. They are inside the handles in diagonal spots. So there's one here and one here. And that's going to make the bag hang wonky. I wanted to love it, and I really needed to see it in person, feel the material, see the material in person. I wanted to love it. There are things I do love, but I just don't love it at $300 worth. I feel like I could find a tote comparable to this that doesn't say Coach, because I don't care about that, for under $50 that I could be very happy with. And this is a sizable bag, so I won't do a whole what fits because all the usual stuff is going to fit in here. But I will show you whether my 13-inch MacBook fits, and oh, easily, so easily fits in there with room to spare, especially since it is so malleable and the sides go out. You might be able to fit a 15-inch in here. Not sure. I don't have one to try. But I would still be careful about putting a lot of weight in this because of the material and the handles. I just put some random stuff in here to see how the bottom might sag because there is no structure. There's nothing to reinforce that base. So the bottom is going to sag a little bit. You can see there, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. If I put something heavier in there, it might sag more. This may be a bag, if you don't like that much squish, that you might want to get a base shaper or a bag organizer to help with that. So overall impressions, like I said, it's going back. So I don't think that this is worth $300. What would I change about it? What I would love to see is if Coach re-released the cargo tote next year in a straw form. I would love it to be a straw that has a tighter weave, so it's a little more structured and feels a little more sturdy and will keep some of those shape issues a little better. I would also really love if they did it with brown accents instead of black. Why is it so difficult to find a straw bag with brown accents these days? It seems like it's all in black. And if I'm taking this out for summer, I'm not usually wearing anything black to go with that. How about you? I do love the turn lock pocket so much. I wish that it was a turn lock on the back too. I know they probably did that as a snap instead so that there's not a turn lock poking you when you carry it. Or maybe just a slip pocket with no snap. And I guess you could wear this without snapping it, but I feel like the snap could really damage the bag over time. Why on earth would you use paper straw that you can't get wet? That makes no sense for a bag that might be taken to the beach. But it is a really soft material. It feels good in my hand. It's not scratchy at all. I like that they've given you the zipper option for people who use zippers. I don't. I love the smush. I like the slouch to a degree. I love that it's not lined. Other people would disagree with that. And I think it's a good size. I would love it if the 20 size had been released here too. And if there was a larger size of this, you know what would be great? Is a little bit larger, like never full size, with longer handles. So that was a shoulder tote. But the rectangular tote, that would be really pretty fabulous. And especially if it had leather trim in brown, that would be amazing. I would really love to see that from Coach. And the strap. Can we please get rid of those webbing straps? I'm so tired of them. I'm sure so many of you are too. Give us a leather strap with a Coach bag. We'll pay a little more for it. And with luxury brand bags. What do you guys think of those webbing straps? Aren't you so over them, or do you still love them? Let me know in the comments. But that is my very honest review of this Coach cargo tote in paper straw, which unfortunately will be going back. And I will just stick with my Longchamp Le Pliage tote for now. This one is very, very hard to find, so I'm not going to be able to link one for you. They're nearly impossible. So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Hope to see you back here next time, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.